Okay, so for our third speaker, let me introduce her. She works with advertising. She runs a company, a consulting company, focusing on D&I for disabled people, among other things. Mila, she's delivering a speech today of 10 to 15 minutes. That's a little bit longer than the normal. And her title is Expanding Horizons and Listen to the Voices of Women with Disabilities. So, Pathways, Strategic Relationship, presentation number 2. And the interesting thing, this presentation will be done later in Macau. So,
okay, kawaii displaces. Good evening, fellows Toastmasters and guests. My name is Mila Guedes. I'm a Brazilian. I live in the city of São Paulo, which is the largest city in South America. In Brazil, from the last census done in 2010, there are 45 million of people, or approximately 24% of the population, with some type of disability. Of this total, most are women. As in the whole world, disabled people, because of a history of marginalization, experience frequent and varied situations of personal, group, and social disadvantages. In 2008, the Brazilian government ratified the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, and in 2015 enacted the Brazilian Inclusion Law. Both state and municipalities must ensure the access for people with disabilities to all services they need. But in our society, violence alone is a hidden phenomenon. Imagine the combination of violence plus women with disabilities, who are often an invisible and marginalized group, as well as doubly discriminated by gender and disability. Most women with disabilities and personal assistants of family members with disabilities have little or no visibility and recognition by Brazilian society, especially in low-income families. This reality means that these women do not get the attention and get the answer rights in the search for the quality services and care for themselves, their children, or other family members. This situation creates a general lack of statistical evidence on the incidence of violence against women, especially women with disabilities. A survey carried out by the Secretary of People with Disabilities in the states of São Paulo indicates that 63% of the victims of the violence when dealing with children and teenagers with disabilities are female, and 52% come from poor and outlying region of the city of São Paulo. It is worth noting that it is in the basic health care system that girls and women with disabilities are more likely to suffer violence and discrimination because the health workers are often not technically prepared and bigoted. The challenges are enormous. In the city of São Paulo, only 25% of schools have accessibility, and 54% of women with disability have above the age of 15 are illiterate or have incomplete elementary education. 39% of women with disabilities have a formal job, while this percentage rises to 47 for the female population in general. It is worth mentioning in 2006, the Maria da Penha law come into force, which is of one of the most important in relation to dealing with domestic and family against violence against women. Maria da Penha is a woman who can be disabled because due to her husband's violence and inspired the law. The law provides, among many others, for penalties increases by 1/3 if the crime is committed against a person with disability. Despite this law, there are few cases that of a conviction of an aggressor who is often a family member or home-based personal assistant. Thus, in order to find, gather, and empower these women who are vulnerable or even victims in their own homes, a group of a person for a people with this movement here in Brazil, for a people with disabilities, women with and without disabilities, of which I'm a member, have developed together with the Brazil Health and Action Association, BRASA, with the support by the Global Disability Development Fund of Rehabilitation International, the Women Voices Project, a network of women with disabilities in Brazil. This project aims to contribute to the promotion of human rights of women with disabilities and the personal assistance of family members with disabilities via the dissemination, knowledge, and awarenesses of individual and collective rights, seeking to promote social inclusion. The format found to create and strengthen this female community is via education and training, so that they become leaders in their communities. The training program is done via a distance education platform, along with 7 face-to-face meetings in the city of São Paulo. We believe that self-esteem is a central point to be worked on for this project. For it is from this that it strengthens the individuals who can later act and have a social impact on oneself and on others. Unfortunately, for the moment, the world is going through a period of transformations. Typical of the globalization process that is currently undergoing reversals, as well as a crisis of governance and values, causing nationalist principles to advance to the detriment of the ideals of the fraternity, equity, and solidarity. Brazil is inserted directly in this context, and although much has already been done, much remains to be done to realize rights and resist the dismantling of the public policies. I am particularly concerned about people with disabilities because it's a particularly vulnerable public in this context. And for me, for being a member of this group. So, the situation of women with disabilities here in Brazil is not terrific. Thank you, Mr. President.